hello, and welcome to Caribbean House Talk. And Caribbean House Talk, we always bring you the issues from funny to curious, even to the tearfully serious. Today we have quite a show lined up for you. We have quite some interesting items in our spicy dish segment. So, ladies, let's roll with our spicy dish.
Let's do this.
All right, so on spicy dish, we're gonna, in a spicy bowl, we're gonna, spicy dish, we should say, let's stick with the dish thing. We're going to have Caroline pick out a topic.
All right, let's see today. Interesting. Should a person's past determine if you date them?
I think it depends.
Some clarification. Go
Okay.
ahead.
So if you are dating someone and you find out maybe when they were 15, 16, 18 years old, young man, young woman, they might have done something crazy or accidental even, and they end up in the penitentiary. Let's give that as an example. And they spend some time in the penitentiary. They're out, they're living their lives, in an admirable way, probably found the Lord. And you saw this person, you like them, and you're dating, or you're thinking of dating them, but you find out about this. So honest enough to say, I did do some time in the penitentiary. I just want to be honest with you about that. Would that deter you from dating that person? I want honest answers.
No. No.
It all depends on how he lived his life since he got in some,
Since he come out.
because how well he sits in the community, and loving the Lord is good too, but just overall, how you live your life. And I think I would date him. Yes.
I think it depends. For instance, if you have killed someone,
Maybe not.
no, maybe not, because I'm thinking you might snap again and kill me. But I think, the person I would look at, they said the best predictor of future behavior is past behavior.
Yes.
So if you came out and you have since been living an admirable life in the community, being a decent human being, I don't think I'm going to worry too much about something you've done when you were, when you were 19, 15 years old. But if it's something as severe as, say, murder, you were in terrorism, I might just wonder if you might snap and go back there. I'm going to be honest,
It all depends. It honestly all depends on what they're doing when I met them. What you do in your past, it's in the past, that's okay, it's gone, it's over with. But if it's something that you leave in the past, that's fine. But if you keep bringing it into your future or bringing it to your present, then it's a problem. I would not date someone that have that kind of baggage dragging along. If you drop it, that's fine. I'll go.
You're
with
currently in
Yeah.
that lifestyle, you won't date.
No.
Okay,
No.
that makes sense.
No way.
What about you, Amalfi?
I would probably date the person, but then that will always be in the back of my mind, and I don't know I will be fair with him, because if anything related to that episode of what happened to him or maybe what he did, maybe he tells me he wasn't faithful, and that's why he got a divorce. That's gonna stay in the back of my mind. And
But
every
wait,
time
we're not going there with divorce. We're talking when he's done something stupid, or she, could be a she, done something stupid in their past, and now they like you like them, but now you found this out. And they've been living their lives, fairly admirable since that.
it would be on the back of my mind.
Yeah.
It depends.
Then if it's gonna
Because
be in
then-
the back of my mind, I wouldn't go with him.
Right, that's I
right.
was about to say that. I wouldn't, if it doesn't bother me and I'm willing to give it a shot, that's one thing. But if I'm thinking, this is going to be in the back of my mind, like, will you, let me give you an example. So we're having an argument, right? This is what, we're having an argument. And you're just mad, as anybody would be mad. I'm going to wonder if he's going to snap and kill me. I'm not trying to date some, it's a tricky situation. People do make mistakes. But I don't know that I will date someone who I know had a past like that.
So you say if it's a murderer?
Yeah, certain things. There's certain things that's out of the
Anything.
picture.
I mean, a person's past, it does make a difference. Okay, so depending on how severe it is or how severe you take it, That will determine whether you date them or not.
I think how severe you take is the most important
Yeah.
piece, because you're going to be thinking that way regardless of what he tells
Exactly.
you, regardless of how he's acting now, because you're going
So
to
you leave him alone pretty much.
I
Because
think I'll
to
leave him
remember, even if you give up that information, he's not going to give you the entire truth. So
He
there's
may
something. No, he wouldn't.
Why?
No.
But you can't say that as a blanket
Can't say
statement,
that.
but the majority will not.
majority.
If he,
Majority.
if he got the Lord in him.
Lord or no Lord, there's something. There's a phrase, a little something, a section there that he's not going to tell you. I am going to tell you that for a fact because I know it happened.
Well, we're not saying it doesn't happen. What we're
It
saying,
happened.
I don't think we can make a blanket
And-
that there are people
I
who,
will.
I know, for instance, one guy who told me about his past, and he had a solid past. At one point, there were hits out on him, okay? And with him, because I asked him one day, I said, why are you so ultra religious? And he told me, he said, Trish, you have to understand, where I came from, the kind of background I had. And I had to get into the church and really go the straight and narrow before I could, for me to keep straight. Now it's like normal for me. But in the beginning, I had to really get deep into the church and deep into my soul. And I thought he was a very nice guy. He later got married and all that, but I just would not have dated him, knowing that. I mean, maybe that is terrible, that I would say, okay, he's being honest, and I just wouldn't have dated him, knowing that past. So,
There's
Yeah.
certain
It
things that
depends
you
on
can
what
deal
it is.
with, and there's
Mhm.
things that you cannot. So you make the choice.
Exactly.
yeah,
If you have a doubt, don't do it.
No, because then the
That's
answer
the
is
bottom
no.
line.
yeah.
And that's
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
She's right. We
Yeah,
could
but
probably
that-
move
yeah.
on.
Mhm.
Have a
Move
doubt,
on.
don't do it.
Don't
do
move on. Yeah,
Yeah.
we could be friendly, but mm-mm.
Not even,
I
you
don't
know,
wanna
I don't know
revisit
that
it.
I will be friends, because then that could cross the line. When you start with someone with an intention of building a relationship, and then you think that you're going to go to the friendship, so most of the time doesn't work. It hasn't worked for me. So.
Okay. So the next spicy dish, who picked it last time? You did, Miss
Let's see
Mitchell
what
Davis.
we have here.
Miss oh my God, what am I calling your name? I'm Harvey.
Thank you.
What's
Okay.
it?
Oh, this is very, very emotional. Will you tell a friend about a cheating spouse?
Oh boy. Mhm.
For me, it's no.
Oh boy, that's a tricky one.
I won't.
Because I don't want that on my conscience that I ruined somebody's marriage. I've even had cases where the man make a pass at me, knowing I was friends with the girlfriend, and I warned him, and I said, if you do this again, I will let her know. But because I love her and she seemed to love you, I'm not going to tell her what you did. Now I run a risk, because a lot of these guys, when that happened, they'll go say you made a pass at them. He didn't do that, but I put it right out there that if it happens again, if you try to come on to me, say anything inappropriate. But you know what it was? After that, it kind of made me uncomfortable to even go around them, because I don't want to ruin her relationship with him, but I didn't want to be around them knowing that he was thinking about me that way. So the relationship with me and the lady, it kind of like, we still chat and what have you, but it kind of dwindled, because again, I don't want to be in the middle of that, and I can't look at this guy with a straight face knowing what he was trying to do. So if I see a spouse cheating, depending on the level of friendship with me and the lady, I'm going to tell him off, and I am going to have to pray and think about what I tell her,
I agree.
because you don't want to ruin someone's marriage. You don't know what's going on in a marriage, why he might be out there doing that. You're not justifying it, but you don't want to be that person that said you broke that marriage up because you went and run him out. He might have been having a fling and come to his senses, and nothing of it's found out. Now you're the one who. So it's a tricky one.
I wouldn't say anything. I wouldn't. There are many reasons why.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes you try to be the devil's advocate, and it backfires on you.
Mhm.
You trying to do something, thinking that you're doing a favor or doing your friend justice to the point where you say, look, this guy, da da da. She might know, and she might pretend she doesn't know. There are cases where she might say, or he, whichever way it goes, might be like, I rather not know, even though I know, I rather not hear it. You
And now
might
you're
be the
telling
one-
me, and now you're putting me in a spot where I know
Right.
you know.
Right.
You know?
You know, it's kind of sticky. It
Mhm.
is very, very sticky to get in relationships between people in their relationship. Eventually, one way or the other, they will find out. They will.
But I don't
work
want
it
it
out.
on my conscience to be
I
forced.
don't care about conscience when it comes
You
to
know?
people relationship
Mhm.
because. what
No, I mean
have
I don't
to
want it
do-
on my conscience to be the person that told
Right.
and cause a problem.
Right. That's
You know?
right.
Well, what
Yeah,
happens
so-
when your friend says, she finds out, and she says, you knew, but you didn't tell me.
How dare you
And
tell
I
me?
don't want to
know.
be friends with you.
That's your
it's a-
business.
That's the tricky part.
You know
It's
what?
all a tricky
Let me
situation.
tell you something.
But it's real. It's
When
real.
it
It does
It
comes-
doesn't
happen.
have to be tricky though.
It doesn't have to be.
Yeah.
When it
Yeah.
comes to people telling you, you know that my husband cheating on me and you didn't tell me anything, and I don't want you to be friends. That wasn't a friend from day one. So if you're gonna do me a favor by telling me you don't want to be my friend anymore because I know your husband cheating on you, your husband cheating on you, be my guest. Don't be my friend.
But you can
I-
hurt the
I
person
don't
by
look.
not telling them too.
No.
I don't know what I would
you
do.
think that? No.
Because I don't like to get in anybody else's business. I know I'd probably step to that gentleman, that
I
man,
probably would say
and
something to
say
him.
something. I'm more
I
likely to
wouldn't
say
say
something.
Yeah, no,
to
here I
him.
would say something.
Yeah.
Here I would say
because
something. I
that's
say, you know
just
something,
wrong.
I'm very good friends with the wife, and I don't
Yeah.
like what I'm seeing here. You better fix this shit here, because if I ever find out that you're still doing it, I'm
And
going to
it's-
tell her. But I don't think that I would want to go tell the lady, but I'm going to call him, I'm going to get in his face and tell
I
him.
wouldn't.
You know?
I
I will.
won't get
I will.
involved with either.
And
I just
again,
leave it
remember,
alone.
the wife or girlfriend is my good friend, and we're seeing males,
Depends.
but
Wow,
sometimes it's a
that's
woman.
really close.
Listen,
Women
some of
do
these
that
women
too.
out here
Yeah.
cheating as
Yeah.
much and more than the men.
Yeah.
That's
So-
why I wouldn't do it.
Mm.
I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it
Mhm.
for many reasons, and one of them is you have children. You don't want to get in people's business. You don't get in your children's business. Why you want to go get in people's business? If my son have a girlfriend that's cheating, and he tell me, I will give him my 2 cents. If he doesn't tell me, I don't care. I really don't, because he will find out, and he's a grown boy. He will make his decision. If he come to me for advice, I'll tell him what I will do in his case. But other than that, I'm out. If they have to deal with their business. Everybody have to deal with their thing. And I think by people getting into other people's business and saying this and telling this, that, and do, sometimes it caused such a rift. You were better off not saying anything in the first.
But you know what? If that gentleman that you step to and say, listen, your wife is like a sister to me. Well, we're saying gentleman, it could be a woman too. And I don't want to ruin your relationship, so I'm going to pretend I didn't see this. But you need to cut this out, because if you ever let her find out that you're doing this, she won't know from me, but you better stop it. I think if he's a man who is redeemable, he will be so relieved that you didn't expose him, that he probably will pull himself around. There's at least a chance that he might pull himself around. And,
I wouldn't do
I
it.
don't know.
I wouldn't do it.
I wouldn't do it. I would
I
I
not
would say
get
something to
involved.
the man. I would never tell the woman, but I would say something to the man.
Then
I would definitely say something to the man. I'm sorry.
I wouldn't do it.
'Cause that's
and
my friend.
then you
Yeah.
no, you see the thing with friends are funny people. Just like family, sisters, everybody. People are funny when it comes to relationships. And you have to be so careful how you tread on these kind of things, that you damn if you do, you damn if you don't. And there are times when you can say, okay, this is my really good friend. I'm going to tell my friend that her boyfriend is cheating. I'm going to tell my friend that his girlfriend is cheating. But then you're going to be coming you're going to be coming under investigation, because
And
you're going to
you're
find out
absolutely
how long
right.
did you
But
know
that's
this?
not what we
Why
said.
didn't you tell
We
me
didn't
that
say
before?
telling your
Why didn't you
friend.
tell me that?
We said, if my friend's spouse is cheating and I see and I know about it, I'm going to talk to him. I'm going to step to him, and I'm going to have something to say to him.
What about if it's
Okay.
a he? Your friend.
And if
is
it's a
she,
she, I'm going to say something to her
Okay,
too.
that's what
If
I'm
that's,
saying.
I'm not saying
Don't-
I don't know if I would say anything to my friend, but I'm saying if the husband or the wife cheats on my friend and I see it, yes, I'm going to say something to that husband or wife. I'd say something to that person first before I would my friend.
I wouldn't.
I
I wouldn't
my
say anything to
friend.
my friend, but I said, listen to me. She's
Don't-
not
I
gonna
don't
know
wanna
from me
see it,
because
don't
I'm
you
not
think?
about to break up your marriage. But
Yeah,
I
I
would,
certainly would.
I would encourage you to stop whatever you're doing because that's my friend. I don't want to see her hurt, and I don't want to see her hurt by telling her. But you need to stop this, and maybe I might have a shot at having him
Might
redeem
stop
himself.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Because he might
Suppose-
appreciate that I did not tell
Tell.
the wife.
Suppose it came out in the open,
Mhm.
and that husband or wife, who is your friend's spouse, said, "Well, Trish knew."
I said it was not my obligation to tell you.
And I warned him,
I-
and I told him if he continued that, you know.
Right.
Oh, it
I-
wouldn't go
I-
that
I would
easy.
say it's
It
not
wouldn't
my
be that easy.
obligation to
Well,
tell
if you
you.
tell her, she might be mad and blame you later on for breaking it up too.
Yes,
But
so
I would
I-
rather.
that's
And
why I
sometimes she throw it
Your mouth
back at you
shut.
that you
Exactly.
wanted him.
Yes,
Uh-huh.
exactly.
Keep your mouth shut.
Yeah.
That's my thing. That's
I-
just
I-
how I think.
But that's
and
just
it depends on what you see. If you see him walking across the hallway with another woman in a hotel room, I don't know. Maybe that's something else. If it's blatant in my face and you happen to run into me with another woman doing something, I'm sorry. I do have an obligation to say something.
Someone
I
As
give
a
you an idea.
friend, I have an
I'll-
obligation to tell him something.
I'll give you an idea. On my first marriage, my there's a thing to be said about who people are hanging out with. You got to figure out what they're doing. Why somebody will feel free, knowing that I'm friends with your girlfriend and you're bringing another woman up in my house.
Exactly.
Okay, I've had that situation, and I've had to say, "Listen, man," I said, how is your wife? Or how is your girlfriend?" And they look a little like, "Oh my God, did she have to bring that up?" And the first time, I said to my ex-husband, "Do not ever let that happen again, because I'm going to humiliate him in front of that lady." The next time he did it again, and I humiliated him in front of that lady. Don't. I said, "Where's your wife? Who's this?"
Yeah. I
You know?
believe that too.
So
Well, that's a different thing.
No, it's not
It's
the
the
same
same
thing.
thing.
Same
not
thing.
only, listen.
No,
The only
it's not
difference is
different.
he bring the cheating in my house.
To
Exactly.
your
No.
face.
To my face, he bring it in my house.
No,
And at
I
that
don't
point,
think-
yes,
no.
I'm going to say something. You know, actually, I'm going to say something.
No,
So
I don't
that's-
think I don't think they will know that you're friends with me and bring your.
The same
Oh,
person
right.
did it twice later. I'm
Yes.
telling you.
Absolutely.
The first time, I didn't say anything. I just asked, "So how is such and such?" And he looked a little nervous, like, "Why you asking me that? Did you see me with somebody else?" Well, they weren't married, but they were like engaged. And so I said something to my ex-husband that I said, "Well, are you having problems or something?" She didn't mention. No, you know him. He's always, And I said, "Don't let that happen again, because the next time I will embarrass him." And the next time he did do it, and I did embarrass him. I did warn him. I gave him free warning. Don't let this happen again. I'm friends with your girlfriend. We were very good friends.
That's
and-
bold face.
And you're bringing another woman into my place, and
That's
twice. And the second time was not the same woman he brought
That's
before.
disrespect.
Okay.
That's disrespect.
So I had a right to step to him and say, "Who is this?" I said, "Where's Joanne? And where is and
Right.
where's
That
Mary?
is
Whatever the name
disrespect.
was."
And he know that you're friends with his girl.
Oh yeah, we're tight.
That is disrespectful.
Very disrespectful.
But
That
Mary
is
knew what
disrespectful.
she had at home too.
It doesn't matter.
We don't know what she
It doesn't
does.
matter. You don't disrespect my house by doing that.
Exactly.
I had another situation in the second marriage where a guy who I knew to be married, this wasn't even a girlfriend. I wasn't friends with the girl or anything like that. I didn't even know his wife. But brought some other woman in my house that I knew is not his wife. And I told
Wow.
my ex-husband, I said,
No way.
don't tell him. I said, if he want to see me get crazy, don't do that. Because I knew he's a married man with children. Don't bring other woman in my house.
No.
So, so. All right, Miss
Okay.
Harrison, let's pick out the next spicy dish item. And then we'll go to break after this
Okay,
last
let's
one.
see. Should the number of kids a person has determine
If
if
we'll date them.
you date them?
Should the number of children a
Number
person
of
have,
kids,
like you're dating a person and you find out they have 6 kids.
6 kids.
Should that determine if you will date them or not?
Oh, that's a mental thing.
Ah.
Really, you have to go, really go think about that. Suppose he had six kids. I mean, can I deal with 6 kids? Plus,
No, they may be grown, some of them, so they're not necessarily all little kids.
no.
But
no.
even if they're
I-
grown,
Grown
I
adults.
think they
No, I don't think so because I don't think so.
You don't think
No.
what? What?
That it would determine what I do with this man. If they're grown, of course. But
What if some more little?
I'm not sure because they're gonna need a mother.
Okay, let me get ridiculous
I
here and say
don't know.
all of them are small. You know what? Me and you, thankfully, you're married. I'm at a certain age. I'm not going to be dating guys who have small children, even though I have a small son.
Yeah.
I just happen to be an older woman who have a small child.
Yes.
But the most women my age are not having children that age. So most of the men that I would encounter have already had their kids grown in college or gone. But let's say you younger folks that you would like Amalfi, not you, but Amalfi, let's say you're dating and you meet a gentleman who tells you that he has 6 or 7 children and they're still underage children.
I will be
Is that a
out
deal
of the
breaker?
door. That will
That's
be
a deal breaker.
And that's a smart
Yes.
thing to do.
I will be out of the door. I understand that, like I have one child, he's gonna bring maybe 2 or 3, but more than that will be a lot of work on my part, because if he has visitations, if we decide to settle down, he's gonna bring those kids to my house.
It's a lot of
Because
drama.
it's a lot of drama, it's a lot of work, it's a lot of money and time, which is very, very important. So no, it will be a deal breaker.
And you know, like I said, I'm of a certain age where I will not be dating guys with small children. And that, listen, I got a brand new
Because you'll
teenager.
end up as a
But
nanny.
but here's the thing. Here's the thing. If I was let's say a few years younger, right, and I was dating a gentleman, let's say he had 4, 5 kids with his wife, his ex-wife, and they divorced. I think I might look at it a little differently. But he has a good job. He takes care of his children. But like you said, that visitation.
The visitation, the money, I think is
Like what's
the-
there for me to build a life with you when you have 5 kids or 6 kids to support? So I just think like for me, that would be a deal breaker.
Yeah, I had an experience with a guy that had 5 grown kids and 1 that was 9. And you think that the grown-up kids are they're not
you
gonna
more
be
trouble.
they will give you
Yeah,
he
that could
invested
be
more
worse.
time on those adults and money, because what happens is your kids are an extension of you. It doesn't matter what age they are. So he was investing in them. And then I find out that he had a 9-year-old, and I said, this is it. He said, can I call you? And I said, no, we're not a match. No, because I will become a babysitter also because I'm given. I will give him money. He wouldn't be able, even if he was to make that he wasn't making millions, he will be able to support me and a family of 6.
Well, you have a good job. You can support yourself.
I can support
Without
myself,
argument.
Trish, but I am looking for someone who I can share with. I don't want to be. I have been there, done that, where I have given money, and I want to be able to share. Doesn't mean that the guy has to pay for everything, but I want to be able to share with that person.
Well, you're married, Miss Lady, but Miss Caroline, but
I wouldn't do it.
if one of you, God forbid,
Nah, don't nothing. Nah, don't even bring
don't
it
bring
up.
it.
My
Cut off
thing
is
is,
two.
I would not do it because there's a lot of drama, you know, especially when it comes to little kids.
And the daughters, oh my
The
God.
daughters are.
Oh,
Then
they
the
could play that
little kid-
father.
Teenagers, you have to think about growing. You have to think about, but you usually run into a lot of drama. I don't want drama. That's
A
it.
deal breaker.
Yeah.
What about you, Miss Harrison? That would be a deal breaker?
Yes. Well, I should say, okay, if I were younger and there are two kids involved, maybe I'd consider it, but not 6, because that becomes you become the nanny at that point.
That's
I
true.
wouldn't.
And you have to deal with that.
Yeah.
And you had the last word on this segment. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to go to our Dear Help Team portion of the program. We'll be right back. I'm Trish.
I'm a mountain.
I'm Irma. And I'm Caroline.
And we are the Caribbean House Talk. Welcome back to Caribbean House Talk. And this segment of Caribbean House Talk, we're going to go to our Dear Help Team portion. Dear Help Team, what do you do if you're working for a small company that does not have human resources and you feel you're being harassed in the workplace, what would you do?
And this is being harassed by whom? By a
Co-worker,
coworker.
and management looks the other way.
First of all, you need to have a conversation with the coworker. You know, I'd have a conversation with the coworker, and if that doesn't go anywhere, if it doesn't fly, then you go to the management. I mean, management does not want to have to deal with these kinds of things, these what they may think is trivial. But if it's important to you, I think you'll have to go to management, and you take a chance to see what happens. Maybe they'll side with that person, maybe they'll side with you. But I think if you're being harassed, you can't go to work every day and be miserable. You have to say something.
But I'd like to ask a question. Why is it that company didn't have a HR?
Could be
A
a
small
small
company,
company,
a small company,
you
a small
know.
company.
So,
Small office.
oh, okay.
For me, what I would do, this is personal, what I would do, I would have a talk with the coworker, but I would also be documenting everything.
Oh, absolutely. Always
Date,
stop.
time, if there was anybody there, what was said, what was done. And then if that does not stop, I would go to management. And if it does not stop, I would look for a job, and then I would go to the EEOC. EEOC is an employment type regulatory agency that takes complaints regarding workplace harassment and different things that are happening in the workplace that are unfair to employees. So that would be my avenue. I would first have a talk with the employee, and I would document everything that they did or said to me.
Absolutely.
I would go to my manager, and I would bring the case to them. Again, document that. If that continues, I am looking for a job, but I will take you to the EEOC, and I will bring some kind of a.
I would
I
probably
actually-
do that as well, but in the meantime, while I'm talking to the coworker and the employer or the manager, I would definitely emphasize or concentrate my energy on looking for a new job. Because I think that once something is broken,
I can't fix.
it's,
Yeah.
it's hard to fix
I
it.
would
It's hard
not.
to.
Sorry, I would not have no conversation with no coworker.
Mm.
Because you're already harassing me. You know you're harassing me. Why am I going to talk to you? I'll go to my boss and the EEOC. That's what it is. At the same time. I'm not even waiting for my boss to get back to me. I'm going to let you know. I'm going to tell you what I'm
Well,
going
no,
to do.
you want to go to
and
her
I'm going to go
first,
straight there.
and you want to wait. What if she might say, take disciplinary action and fire that person? So then it doesn't need to go any farther. But if she's not doing anything, and this person, after you talk with your boss, continues, but you said something which is really good, which is really powerful. You do need to focus your energies and getting a new job, because you have to wonder.
If the time dictates, that sounds good. Focus your energy, get a new job. You might be in a situation where you can't look for a new job at that time. You know what I mean?
And that's why I said
and that's
talk
real.
talk
Yeah.
to your coworker. Try to.
But what about going to a lawyer?
That I was thinking that too. But
What
I
about,
think that would take a lot of
just
energy.
Yeah, it's not your first
registering
step.
that
though.
with
It's not
the
the first
lawyer?
step.
the
We don't
first
want to be in a
step.
Not the
workplace
first
where
time, but if it
you don't want to
keeps
be in a
going
workplace
on.
where everything we're running to sue
No.
somebody. But like I say, you talk to the person, like you say, I don't appreciate the way you talk to me. That continues. You go to the boss and said, and you at that point you should have dates to tell her this date she did this date. So they see that you mean business. If that continues, because you have to wonder about why would someone in the workplace feel empowered, feel so bold to harass another? You're not that person's boss. So is the boss somehow, in cahoots with this person, or this person might feel like they have that kind of a leverage that they could do this? So I would definitely be looking for a new job, but I will give it some steps first. That I don't appreciate you talking to me that way. Let me talk to the boss and say this person has a tendency to do X, Y, Z, and I spoke to them, and it continues, and I'm coming to you because I don't appreciate it. Okay? They continue, then, like I said, and then all of this time you should be looking for a job.
I definitely
You
should.
And I would leave, but that would not just be the end of me and that.
you said something that not every time somebody do something you have to go sue them, but going to a lawyer doesn't mean you have to sue them. Going to the lawyer means that you write this person a letter letting them know that you're not comfortable with what they're doing and what they're doing. Write that person a
I
letter.
would
That
do that
may-
if it was something outside of the
Yeah.
workplace, but in the workplace, I think I would take the steps more of telling the coworker I don't appreciate it,
No,
talking to
I'm
the boss,
coworker.
and then I would take
I
that
would
route.
not talk to the coworker because you already know what you're doing to me. You know it's not right. You know.
Talking doesn't mean I'm trying to convince you
No,
to
it
stop.
doesn't.
I mean, I'm going to let you know. I don't appreciate you talking to me. You're not my boss.
Exactly.
Don't talk to me that way.
Exactly.
That's the kind of
See,
talking
and-
to that I'm going to be doing.
That might bring up open up a whole different kind of worms.
Mhm.
So I would not approach that person and say, what you're doing to me is wrong, I don't like it. I wouldn't say anything, because then maybe that's what they're waiting for, and assault start happening, and that's a whole different story.
Mhm.
Because that could happen too. I would not confront you. I would go to my boss, and then I would take it out elsewhere. I'll go to a lawyer. I will look for another job. Take it wherever else I have to take
The
it.
lawyer would be
It
the
all
last
depends.
resort.
I
That would be
It
the
all
last
depends.
resort. That would be the last resort.
Sometimes that's what you need to do,
Mhm.
because I know this is happening right now as we speak.
Mhm.
And had that lady not gone to a lawyer, I don't know what would have happened to her. I don't know. She was so scared because they have HR, they have everything, but she's been there for 40 years, and she's about to retire, and they want to push her out without retirement, without nothing. Yeah.
Well, that is a
So-
case for a
It's a
lawyer.
case
That's
for-
a-
that is a case
that's
for
a
lawyer,
different
yeah.
case,
This is
So you know
Yeah.
what? Nip it in the bud, do what you have to do, get your retirement money, and move on.
Well, when
But-
did the harassment start?
Oh, like 6 months, she
Okay.
said, when she started really taking serious note of what, because for her it may be like a year or so, but she really started
Mhm.
taking it seriously for the
For
last
6
6 months.
Okay.
But because she know of her age and her time with the company,
Mhm.
she don't want to be pushed out that way.
Mhm.
And hadn't she gone to a lawyer and have that lawyer write that woman, she didn't know what would happen.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
a
Yeah,
case
That's
we
a
need
case
a
where
lawyer.
you need a
Yeah,
lawyer.
that's the case when you
Yeah.
definitely need a lawyer.
Sometimes
Especially-
you don't, even though you think you don't, because
Mhm.
this is where it starts, the little thing. So you have to stop it early before it get to that. 6
Right, but
months.
that situation
It may
that
be
you described,
beneficial
that's
because you
different,
will
yeah.
have the advice of an expert telling you what to do. But I think, like Trish said, taking notes will.
I think
be helpful.
documentation
No,
is
you
the
have
most
to
powerful thing.
document. That is so
You can't go to,
important.
She did that
if it gets that far, you can't go say one day they did such and such. No,
No.
on November 15, 19,
11:51 a.m.
right.
Time, date, everything.
I was sitting in the kitchen and she came in and spattered
Absolutely.
coffee all over. That has more weight
She
in front of
started
any
documenting
legal
it like 6
body.
months
Facts.
into the
Yeah.
harassment. Because she didn't think it was harassing, because at first it was like a joke, but like a sarcastic joke to that
Mhm.
point, and then it started getting more and more serious, and then she
And
started
is this by
documenting
management or?
a co-worker, a younger
Mm.
co-worker who wanted her office, who wanted her space, who wanted to do what she was doing, and trying to push her out, she and another friend.
So what was the result in terms of when she took
Well,
those
when they got
steps?
the lawyer, when she went to the lawyer and explained what happened, and the lawyer wrote the manager, wrote the company, and wrote the lady the same letter, then
But
then
that's
the,
okay.
then the harassment stopped, like boom. And guess what? Oh, I was just making a joke with her. I thought it was funny. I thought she started defending herself now to the point where she's saying, oh, she doesn't have anything against the woman, and she doesn't this and she doesn't that.
But my
then
question
this
is,
lady
though-
have everything right down to say, well, this is what you were doing, bam, 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 from when it started.
But
until
did she
that
go to
day.
CHR though?
Yes, she said she did told her boss. But
Mhm.
she didn't say HR. She told her boss.
She should have went
Take her
to
boss
should've
and
gone to
take it to
HR.
HR.
She
To
should
me, before me even going
Yeah.
to a lawyer, that's what I'll do.
Yeah.
Document,
Yeah,
talk,
and
tell the person I don't appreciate
it's,
it, go talk to my boss, and
she
then go to
stayed
HR.
there.
HR.
She have another year
Because
to go.
I think most people stop at the boss and at your supervisor or manager, and sometimes they
Unless
don't-
the school supervisor in cahoots with this person.
Yes.
Yeah, the school
Yes.
supervisor
or
in
they're
cahoots.
friends, or they
She
say
didn't
no.
go to the supervisor. She went to the boss, the department boss, the
Mhm,
guy
the
who
higher
ran the
ups.
department, the
Mhm.
supervisor's boss. She went there. And
HR would have been
nothing happened because apparently the boss maybe tell the supervisor what was going on.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Supervisor did nothing. Okay? So she couldn't take it anymore, and she just went and get the lawyer to write them.
Mhm.
And the lawyer wrote the company, wrote the boss, and wrote the lady.
So she did take those steps.
Yeah,
Mhm.
she did.
She did take the
She
steps.
did.
Yeah, she didn't
And
go
now-
directly to the attorney.
No. She didn't. She went to her boss, not the supervisor. The supervisor's boss, which is the guy who runs the
The manager
department.
probably, yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
Okay.
She went there, and nothing happened.
Mhm.
So she went take it outside, and then is when she got action, because then they see that she's serious, and then now it's a joke. Oh, I was only making a joke with you. I was just being funny with you. I was just playing with you. You know, I wasn't serious and all
Wow.
that. Yeah, it takes
It
that.
happens more often than you know.
Oh, it happens a lot.
More often
It
than you
happens
know.
a lot.
But,
Especially
you
to
know.
the older people. The seniors in the company, they're getting harassed every day.
But it
One
depends
lady
though,
said-
because I know, I'm never gonna name the company I work for, but I know in my workplace that would not happen. The HR would not allow that, and management wouldn't allow that. But every place is not the same. There are some
Exactly.
places where that sort of thing do happen, and it's being condoned by management.
Yeah.
I will tell you, I used to work with a lady from the Philippines, and every morning she walked into that building. She said her whole body just dropped, her countenance just dropped, because she know what she's going upstairs to meet. I met her in the last 3 years that I was working there, because I met her in the job, and we became close. We became friends, and she told me, I love my job. I want to come to work, but every time I come in here, I feel so down because of the way they treat her, and because she speak with an accent, and they try that with me too. But you know, I'm not gonna take the nonsense, because that's not me. So she said every time I walk, one thing she tell me, we used to have to go into a place like right here, and the office is back there. You come off the elevator, come into a little hallway, and the office is back there. And she said when I come here and I walk there, my whole body just changed,
Oh.
because I
I
know what
couldn't
I'm
walk
going
like
in
that.
there
I
to
could,
meet.
yeah.
I couldn't walk like that. But it's
She has
easier
to
said than
be-
done,
it's
because
easier
when you
said
get to a
than
certain age, you might be feeling like, where am I going to be the new kid on the block at this
Yeah,
age? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So it's easy
And
to just say, I
always
wouldn't put up with that, I'll
leave.
get another job. That's not always a viable thing for some people. You hit your 50s, do you want to go someplace to start over?
And
You
even
can't,
if
you
you're
know?
younger,
can't,
you
you
might
can't.
think, I don't want
You
to
might not
change.
be able
The
to
job is
change at
close
that
to
moment.
home. I love the people that I work with, most of them, and the pay is good, and you're like,
Mhm.
okay.
You see, the thing is too, certain companies, they will interview you, but they won't call you back because of your age.
Right.
And it is happening today.
And the thing
As
is,
we
if
speak.
someone is harassing you and behaving like that, and you've taken the proper steps, why should you be the one to leave? As the first thing, let me leave. I say, look
It depends.
for something just to cover yourself, but I say, address it. Address it respectfully.
Well,
Let them know you're not going to appreciate, you don't appreciate what they're doing. Let management know you don't, and let them know you're documenting this.
you see, if you're a younger
And-
person,
uh-huh.
you might want to leave. But an older person who's been in that
Yeah.
job for so long, you can't leave, even if you want
You
to.
could, but do you want to?
Where you
know
gonna
what I mean?
go?
Yeah.
Who's gonna hire you? They wouldn't hire you at that age now. It's not gonna happen.
But I don't want a song like that
Oh,
you
no,
can't find a
exactly.
job. No. I'm not saying that at a certain age that you're not. It's not harder to find employment. But you would find something. But the whole thing is, now you're going to be a new kid on the block at 50 something. Who wants that?
That's what I'm saying. Nobody's gonna hire you.
But that's not
And
true.
that's
That's
right.
not true.
They might
Not
hire
for
you.
That's
but
not
you're
true.
gonna start-
It is harder, and
It's
you have
starting
to
from
start
the
from scratch.
bottom.
And if there's a layoff, you're the first
Yeah.
one to get it. So who wants it? It's not about you won't find. It is harder for you to find employment
It
at a
is,
certain age.
but it's not
It
impossible.
is not impossible. But do you want to start over? Do you want to start over at that stage of your life and go through all
Nobody
that?
wants to go through that.
You know?
But I
Exactly.
know there's a lady right now in my life who is in her 60s that's looking for a job now for the past 2 months. I get in interviews all the time
Yes.
without a second call.
Yeah.
They're not calling her back.
Yeah, it's hard.
Because
Yes.
people are looking at you, whether they want to say it or not, they're looking at a person who's of a certain age, and they're
How much
thinking,
can you give us?
how much can you give us? And you probably don't have all kind of health issues and you know, so
Health
they
or no
won't
health?
say it, but
Too bad.
that's
Yeah,
what
Health or
it
no
is.
health. They don't want you.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The pay
Explain
is
us that.
usually lower for people who don't have experience, so
Mhm.
they're gonna get the
It's hard.
people out of college.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's what they're doing now. That's what they're doing now. And they're forcing people, seniors, out of their positions now so that they don't pay them retirement.
Mhm.
That
Not
is
all-
happening too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That is happening. There's so much things that's going on in this place with older people who are actually working. It's so scary for them that sometimes they take the nonsense just to keep their jobs,
Mhm.
which is not right.
But let me say this though, that does happen what you're saying there. We can't pretend it doesn't because it
It
does.
happens. I know it
And it
happens.
happens too much. But there are companies out there where, let's say something even did happen where somebody was being harassed. That, like I said, I know my workplace, I know that would not be tolerated by HR or by management.
Mhm.
If there was a manager that was tolerating that, HR will step up to them and make sure they understand, no, we can't have this. So it depends on the company, you know?
Yeah, I understand
It
that.
depends on the company.
But the fact is, it's happening, regardless to whether
It has
you
always
walk in or not.
happened.
It's always
happening.
happened, yeah.
It's always been happening, but it's happening. You will think that you say, okay, yes, it's always been happening, but until it really happened to somebody you know or you're close to it happening, you will understand how much and how hard it is, and the other person who is actually it is happening to. It is very, very sad what's going on out there with people.
Yeah,
It's
I
very
agree.
sad.
I agree.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to be graced once more with Miss Alma Weiss and her jewelry. We did a segment earlier, another session, and another episode of your jewelry. So we're going to have you have some new stuff for us?
Yes, I do.
All right, so we'll be right
New
back.
Stuff coming up.
I'm Trish.
I'm a mountain. I'm Irma. And I'm Caroline.
And we are the Caribbean House Talk. All right, welcome back to Caribbean House Talk. So Miss Alma Weiss has graced us with her fashion sense in her jewelry. And so she's going to explain a couple of these pieces. The piece that I have on, this is a piece of her jewelry. I really like this piece. It actually matches what I'm wearing.
Yes, very nice.
All right, so tell us a little bit about the pieces that you have in front of us.
Well, my pieces of generally based on experience and things that I've seen. So I would start from this point down. This piece I have here, this honestly is a repurposed piece. I had this necklace and it broke, and I just take the pendant off and replace it with these black
And silver.
beads and silver with the chain, and remake this thing. So this is originally not my pendant, but something that I had from a long time ago. This is something that I really like. I love a lot. This piece I saw in a department store. I think it was Marshall's, and I love it so much. They call it the babe necklace, but it was so expensive. And I look at it carefully, and I said, "Yeah, I could make that."
So this is
So-
not from Marshall's. You
No.
recreated something you saw.
I saw something in Marshall's, and I went home and I made this. I went to the store and I bought my little roller chains, and I cut it up and put it together and created this one. This piece, I love the pendant, I love the chain, and I just put them together. That had no inspiration. I just was designing that day, and I just
That's beautiful.
put them together. And so this piece, I saw this in a Halloween magazine actually, with some stuff in there in the little bottle. So I took the bottle and I put it on the chain, and I put some of these little beads around it and created that. This piece is a piece that one day I went outside. I was my husband was outside doing the gardening. And I went outside bare feet and I stepped in the soil, and I came back with soil around my foot, in the bottom of my foot, and I just looked at it and I saw this the same time, and I said, you know what, this is it. This is like my agricultural piece. This did remind me so much of outdoors, the soil. Yeah. This is a starfish that I like. I matched the chain with the bead in the sequence inside, the little diamonds in there, the stones in here. I try to match the stones up with the chain to make it look unique, like coordinated. And this, I try to match the pendant with the chain, the openness of the chain or the openness of the pendant, and created that. So
Can we lift these up a little?
Yes.
Make sure
Yes.
that the
Let me
audience
see.
sees it.
So they can
Like
see
kind of hang it
how
down. And
beautiful they are.
this is
Like
just
I like that
gorgeous.
one Miss Harrison had.
Yeah.
This one I could see myself putting some perfume in that bottle.
yeah,
You know
I'm
what I
walking
mean?
around with
Yeah,
it.
walk
Yes.
around with it, and I want to just dab a little bit.
I left it open, so empty, so whoever owns this can put whatever they want in there.
Put that one over there.
And that's
Yeah,
it so far.
Oh, beautiful.
There's
So what I
another.
like is that the earlier set, the other sets that you had were not. This is more the metallic
These are more
versions of your
hard
jewelry.
and soft.
Yeah. So this is nice. The other
Gorgeous.
set were more like a lot of the beads. Like the beads I had on and the show that
Second
we did
show?
the show that we did last before this show.
Yeah.
The yellow, black, and white. That was actually one of your pieces as well.
Yeah.
And I think Caroline had something in an earlier show. So we wear a lot of your jewelry here, and I like the versatility.
Earrings.
I like yeah.
Yeah. And these are
Earrings as
my
well.
creation too.
Model.
I think the versatility, the way that you're able to.
So you can be sophisticated, but at the same time, a day to day, you can use this with day to
The
day.
thing about me, little things inspire me. Little things.
I like that. That your foot step in
Yeah.
some soil and
Yeah.
then you got something
I
that
went
has the
inside and I
kind
did that. Yeah.
of look.
Yeah, because it has that. You see, it has the look, the resemblance of soil
Mhm.
to me, and I just did that.
Mhm.
I call it
Gorgeous.
agriculture.
Very good. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful. And of course, I see two people here wearing your shawls from an earlier
I am
display.
not sure.
And like I said in an earlier show, the shawls are they're so elegant.
Yeah.
I mean,
This
when you
is-
see a woman in a shawl, it's just elegance.
This is
Sound bar.
actually of 1947 design. I got this pattern in a thrift shop for I think 5 cents.
Mm,
Yeah.
look at that.
And I took it home. I actually picked this up
You
in
didn't get
Boston.
that for 5 cents. You mean you got something
No, the
that
pattern.
that pattern?
The
Okay.
The pattern,
Mhm.
yeah, for 5 cents in a thrift shop. But I recreate it because it wasn't the same. It's not the same. It wasn't open. I
Mhm.
opened it
Mhm.
because I didn't want to make something that was already out there.
Mhm.
So instead of making it in one piece,
Mhm.
one whole piece, I just split it on the side and give it like a
Mhm.
curve, like a neckline,
Mhm.
and open it so you can just wrap it because it's big,
Okay.
you know.
Okay.
Gorgeous.
Wonderful. Gorgeous pieces. Thank you.
Welcome.
When we come back, we're going to go do a cooking segment before we wrap things up here at Caribbean House Talk. So we'll be right back. I'm Trish.
I'm a mountain.
I'm Irma,
And I'm Caroline.
And we are the Caribbean House Talk. All right, welcome back to Caribbean House Talk. And in our kitchen today is the beautiful and intelligent Rashida Smith, attorney and counselor at law. And whoever said that beauty and brains do not mix, they're lying, because she is beautiful, she is very intelligent, and she is my daughter. And she can cook. So, Rashida, you're going to be doing with us today a special spinach dip that you are famous for making in the family. And you came by this dip because we went to Applebee's, and we love the Applebee's spinach dip, spinach artichoke dip. And so you found a way to kind of, replicate it. And so you're going to make it that dish for us. So let me be your helper. So you'll let me know what you're doing and what I need to help you with.
Okay, so I'm going to start off by stating the ingredients that you will need. You'll need minced garlic, whipped cream cheese, artichoke,
Okay.
chopped spinach, and the Italian 5 cheese. It usually says Italian 5
And-
cheese on the bag, and then also Alfredo sauce.
Okay. So
So I like to start off with my Alfredo sauce. Pour it right into the bowl. Then I like to put my spinach, and you do everything to your taste. Some people like a lot of spinach, some people do not.
is this about a
I-
pack? So you have a bottle
No,
of
this is about, I'm horrible with measurements,
about
but
half
you
a
just do
pack?
it to taste. This
Yeah.
is, about half of a pack of frozen chopped spinach. The artichoke, they usually come in a small jar, and it comes in like a vinaigrette, and I usually wash that off and chop up the artichoke. So I add that in,
So do you add the whole bottle or just some?
about half as
Half of
well.
the bottle. Okay.
And then the whipped cream cheese, I usually do half as
Okay.
well. And it's important that it's whipped cream cheese because if you do the regular cream cheese, it will tend not to mix properly. And then the garlic, you do it
That's
to
a lot of
taste.
garlic.
You don't have to put the entire thing.
Mm-hmm.
So you add that to taste. That garlic does give it a nice taste, I find. So I start to mix that in. And then I mix in the 5 cheese. So the
This is
Italian,
Italian
5
5
cheese.
cheese. Okay.
So I do an entire pack of this. And I also do an entire jar of the Alfredo sauce. I mix this together very well, and you want to make sure that it's evenly mixed. After you mix that up, you place it
In the jar.
in a pan.
In a pan, rather. In the jar. In the pan.
And I just like to really make sure that it's mixed. I mean, obviously this is not something that has to be smooth because you have so many textured items like the artichoke and the spinach in there.
Oh, really straight.
And then you want to make sure that you preheat your oven to 350 degrees.
Mm. Okay.
And I will sort of smooth this out. And as you can see, that was fairly quick.
And
This
as
is how
is
it's
the
going
magic
to
of
look when it's in the pan, and then you
television.
place it in the oven. And then as magic will have it, we have one that's done already. And here's the finished product. You want to make sure that it's a little golden brown on the top.
Mm-hmm.
And then you pair it with some Tostito nacho chips. And you're good to go. You bake it for about 25 minutes. Or until you see that it's golden brown on the top.
Very good.
And there you have it. That's the spinach artichoke dip, which is great for, you know, if you have a football game and you just want a little snack or whatever it is. Here it is.
Very good. Very, very good. Oh boy. Applebee's has nothing on you. Alright, so that's it for today's edition of Caribbean House Talk. We thank you for joining us and we look forward to bringing you another edition of Caribbean House Talk. Goodbye.